All right, ready to dive into a career that's all about visual impact. We're talking picture editors, the ones who find those striking images you see in magazines and online articles.
Yeah, you could say they're the visual storytellers.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than just, picking a pretty picture.
That's what's great about this RoleCatcher deep dive. It gets into the nitty-gritty of what they actually do. So, for anyone unfamiliar, what's a picture editor's main responsibility?
Essentially, they're the gatekeepers of visual content. They're the ones digging through photo archives, working with photographers, and choosing the images for publication.
So, a passion for photography and a good eye are important. But RoleCatcher suggests it takes more than just good taste.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Visual sense is key, but it's just the beginning. Think about it. They need to understand the image's relevance, the target audience, and even copyright issues.
Copyright. I never thought about the legal side.
It's crucial. Imagine finding the perfect vintage fashion image, but then having to check if it's cleared for use, what the rights are. Those are things they deal with constantly.
So they need that artistic eye and legal smarts. Not to mention working under tight deadlines because publishing waits for no one, right?
Exactly. RoleCatcher really highlights that fast-paced world, making big decisions under pressure, often with limited time. That's where organization, time management, and communication are essential.
Speaking of unexpected skills, I was intrigued by RoleCatcher mentioning critical thinking and complex problem solving. What kind of problems do they face?
Imagine this. You need an image for a climate change story. Something urgent, but not overly graphic. You have tons of photos, some impactful, some problematic.
That stuff, how do you even start making those choices?
That's where critical thinking is key. You consider the message, the publication style, the impact on the reader. Does it inform or just shock? Promote understanding or stereotypes?
It's a delicate balance, even more so as they advance in their career. And RoleCatcher's breakdown of the career path from junior to senior picture editor is really helpful.
Definitely. It's like a roadmap of the responsibilities and skills needed at each level.
So let's walk through that. What's it like for a junior picture editor? What do they do?
Think image archives, keywording, tagging photos, getting familiar with those digital asset management systems.
Sounds like they're getting organized from day one.
For sure. But it's also a huge learning experience. They might help on photo shoots, learn about image quality, even get involved in post-production.
So very hands-on, even at the start. But as they progress, I imagine it gets more strategic.
Absolutely. As they move up, they're not just handling images, they're managing teams, working with editors, developing visual strategies for entire publications.
That's where leadership and communication become crucial, right? It's not just your own work anymore, you're guiding a whole team.
Exactly. A senior picture editor might oversee junior editors, freelancers, even work directly with photographers on assignments. They're thinking big picture. How do these images reflect the publication's identity, resonate with their audience?
A mix of creative vision and business sense. One skill that surprised me in RoleCatcher's list was reading comprehension. Seems strange in a visual field, no.
Right. But think about it. They need to be immersed in the articles, grasping the writing style, the tone, the message. It's linking words to visuals.
So they're translating the text into a visual companion almost.
Exactly. A good picture editor finds that emotional core of a story and amplifies it visually for the reader. Creating that synergy takes understanding both sides.
Makes sense why critical thinking is so important for them. It's more than just a nice picture. It's about context, implications, how it hits the reader.
Exactly. They might have several good images, but only one truly fits the story. It's about making that call, explaining your reasoning, sometimes convincing others who see it differently.
Sounds like needing confidence in your judgment and the ability to back up your choices.
Definitely. And that confidence comes with experience. Learning how to handle those tough calls, knowing what works.
Speaking of tough calls, let's talk about the digital world. New platforms, trends, ways of seeing images. How does a picture editor keep up?
Fast-paced world, adaptability is key. Someone who thrived in print 10 years ago needs new skills for online and social media now.
Photoshop skills went from a nice to have to essential, I bet.
100%. But it's more than the software. It's understanding how images work on different platforms, optimizing for different screens, even visual storytelling within a tiny social media post.
It's making an image pop, whether it's a magazine or a phone screen.
Exactly. And then there's video content, which is a whole other challenge. But that's a deep dive for another day.
Now you've got me curious. But let's get back to those aspiring picture editors. What does RoleCatcher recommend for breaking into the field?
They emphasize building a portfolio, not just a website, but really document your process, your style, your storytelling ability.
Showing passion and potential even without the dream job yet.
Right. And networking is huge. Go to events, connect with other creatives, reach out to picture editors you admire.
Putting yourself out there, making connections, learning from the best.
Exactly. And when you're prepping for that dream job interview, RoleCatcher has great advice. They even have a list of potential interview questions. Super helpful.
Those are always insightful, like peeking into the interviewer's head. What kind of questions should they be ready for? It can be nerve-wracking enough, right? Trying to guess what they'll ask.
Exactly. That's why being prepared is so key, and RoleCatcher really helps with that.
So give us the goods. What kind of questions should they be ready for?
Some are standard, like tell us about your journey into visuals or what publications inspire you. That's your chance to show passion, your personality.
Proving it's not just a job, but a genuine love for visual storytelling.
Right, but then they get into your experience. Like, describe a time you made a difficult editorial choice on an image. Your reasoning, the outcome.
Oh, that's a good one. It's not just deciding, but explaining your thinking, considering different views, defending your choice.
Exactly. And they might throw curveballs, hypothetical stuff. You're working on a tough social issue article.
Yeah.
How do you pick images that are both impactful and sensitive?
There's those critical thinking skills again, showing you get how images shape views, start conversations, maybe even challenge people.
Exactly. And that leads to something else RoleCatcher stresses. The ethics of picture editing. Not just a pretty picture, but using it responsibly.
Being aware of how it affects people, especially with sensitive topics or certain communities.
Right. Knowing your own biases, how images can be misinterpreted, representing different viewpoints.
A lot to think about. Shows it's way more than just having a good eye. It's creative, it's technical, it's thinking critically, being ethical.
Couldn't have said it better. It's challenging, but so rewarding if you're passionate about this kind of storytelling.
And for anyone inspired right now, RoleCatcher is a fantastic guide. Their knowledge about the industry, the career, even nailing that interview, so valuable.
Absolutely. So I think we've covered the world of the picture editor pretty thoroughly. Their roles, the skills, even those ethical dilemmas they face.
And it takes a special person to thrive there. Not just creative, but thoughtful, a problem solver, passionate about storytelling.
Someone who understands that, yeah, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but it's the picture editor who helps us hear those words, connect to the heart of it.
And there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the world of the picture editor. We hope you have a new appreciation for the artistry, the challenges, and the impact these visual storytellers have. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those creative sparks alive.